We are back in that OSB. We're getting right in it because I don't want to waste no time for this one. Glossary of strange words used in this book. Couldn't have said it better myself. Strange words used in this book. All right, y'all, get ready to enter the mind of a hijack. This is for the experts only, man. This is for the experts in extracting the babies, that Moshe, that pure water. All right, so let's go. Algonquin, the United States of North American Indians before the destruction by the Christians. Algonquin, the United States of North American Indians before their destruction by the Christians. The United States of the North American Indians. You heard me right. Before the destruction, their destruction by the Christian. All right. Christians. Krishna Christians. Af, A-P-H, Af. The God who submerged the continent of Pan. We're going to get into this account of the flood. We're going to get into, this Columbus situation they writing about, man. We just going to enter the mind of a hijack. They're going to portray Columbus like you never seen him. Of course, this hijack, man, is going to actually act like Columbus, was just, led by these holy angels and all this stuff. And that, then came the other, fallen celestial entities hijacking things, making it bad for old Columbo, old Cologne. But we have enough foundation to smell the bullshit. All right, so Af, the God who submerged the continent of Pan. Pan, you heard of Mu? You heard Lemuria? You hear Atlantis all the time. What other submerged lands do we not know today? So when we, think we got it all figured out, we got to go here, this is there, this must be there, this must be here. You don't even know the half of it. I mean, literally, when you talk about Pan, man, let me get this. When you talk about Pan, P-A-N, you don't even know the half of it. I mean, Pan, according to this illustration, this is also where you might see Mu. I wonder if I got that up. Oh, yeah. All right, so this is another representation of what they're calling Pan, which is also Lemuria. So I just wanted to confirm that. So when you hear Lemuria, you hear Pan. They spoke a language that they're calling Panic. Pan. In Pan, they spoke Panic. Now, of course, you know Pan. I mean, come on, we hear about Pan all the time. Pan-African, Pan-American. Huh? Japan. You see Pan all around you. You just don't know where it came from. So if you heard Lemuria, you heard Pan. And when you look at the size of Pan, Lemuria, oh boy, it's like both Americas combined, right? So there's land that has been submerged. That's underwater. I mean, this is such a great map, man, that we got before. And, you see all the ocean beds mapped out. I mean, this is a serious map. Before we said, man, is this play? And these things always come back. So you see Atlantis here. So this is a projection. Obviously, you see America's here. So both Americas, but they just wanted to give you perspective of to the left of where we're at, Americas, right? Is that Pan. And it's all connected. All this was connected, clearly, right? Then you see Atlantis on the right of the Americas. So we are sort of sandwiched by two major sunken continents. almost like we were, protected or left, preserved for a time. And we're going to get into that. Now, they call it America here, right? Upper and Lower, Kuzi and Guni. All right, so you have Atlantis, Lemuria. Let's go back. Pan, same thing, right? Lemuria, Pan. There's Australia underneath, so Pan must have connected to Australia and Japan and Asia on that side. And you had Atlantis, which was connecting these Americas to this Europa situation. This is another illustration. Instead of calling it America, it's called Guatama. Guatama. So we're going to get into the Guatama. If you never heard of it, of course you heard of Guatemala. Guatemala. All right. So a lot of your foundation legend still remains. You just kind of just hitting you from all over the place. Even over here is a little island called Hawaii. 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 All right, and that's all these names that we're getting. Japan, right? Now, this Africa situation is not called Africa here. It's called Arabinia. 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 All right? Are you from Arabinia? Huh? Are you from Guatama? We know we are melanated all over the place, and the game over situation is for them to all say, hey, well, all Negroes come from here. So what about the rest of the board? It's just hijack city? What about the Negroes here? 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 Oh no, Africa, 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 Egypt, 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 Africa, 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 Egypt, Egypt, Egypt. That is white science to get you to one place mentally, spiritually, psychologically, gather you to one place so that you don't claim land rights anywhere else. But the one place you can't have it because the tribes here ain't even checking for your ass. Ain't nobody asking for reparations for the hundreds of millions that were stolen from here. Shouldn't they get paid back for all the hundreds of millions of people and lives and property and everything else they lost? But if no one's checking for you, maybe you didn't come from here. Maybe they found you here, Negro. Or here, Negro. So-called Negro, my family, all right? I'm just talking to you. I say Negro for shock factor because, that seems to ring a bell since you've been called that for so long. Now, why is it so hard to understand that when our family kept saying that they came from the West or where the sun, some say where the sun sets, some say when the sun rises, like the brother teach me to be priestly, we bringing out, brought out that one time, where the sun sets, where the sun rises. We know our maps are flipped upside down, but we could just look at it this way and say, okay, well, what's to say they didn't migrate from here to here? Why must they come from here? Why couldn't they come from here, where the sun sets further west? If that is west, right? But albeit let's give them that. Let's say west is west. Why couldn't they come from west? Why couldn't they have migrated right here? Even if they came from where the sun rises in the east, why couldn't have this been their east? And when these lands were sunken, and when this breaking apart happened, right, in the days of Peleg, right? In the days of Peleg, the earth was divided, right? Could they not have migrated at that time when these continents were split apart by whatever happened to split this apart? These are the theories and the weight of the conversation before they just stick you here. But let's go, because we got some great things to uncover. Oh, good guys. Oh, guys. Oh, look at them. They're crashing us, guys. They're crashing us. It was all set up to go. They just gonna crash us. So bear with me. Let me get my place back. Somebody wants to play. But yeah, these are the, this is what we have to ponder, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't let anybody just tell you one thing and you must be this and you came from here. Remember, they can't tell you who you are. Not by even a little bit. So we're going to jump right into the Bible of the Mound Builders. Have you heard of it? Well, it's just a couple pages here that are going to refer, and then we're going to get deeper into it. We're going to get back into this, Thoth, Cyrus, and oh man, here we go. We're even going to get into the con, if you believe it. Okay. I think this is what I wanted to start with. Let me go back. Oh wait, I'm a little ahead of myself. Okay. All right. Appreciate y'all patience, man, during these jam up interventions. The Bible of the Mound Builders. Oh man, I wasn't even done with my glossary. That's why I had up 2 links, just to make it quick without these. All right, cool. So let's go. Yeah, so I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know who wrote this and who did this and who did this. You know what I'm saying? No one could really say about, too much of what we're looking at. You got to take these leaps of, you got, truly sever this stuff, truly connect this stuff to, once you've generated enough likeness, you know what I'm saying? Once you've connected enough foundation, once you get past the basics of understanding that there's an intelligent consciousness and that you're a part of a wave and that you have to either become that water, become that wave, or go against it, if you please, if you pleasure. That's on you. That is the decision we all must make. So let's get right back to it. Algonquin. The United States of the North American Indians. North American Indians, all right? Before their destruction by the Christians. Let's go down a little bit more. All right, so we got APH, the god who submerged the continent of Pan. All right, so this is what, this is calling them here. And I know we're in the mind of a hijack and we are getting the babies out. So I'm not getting stuck too much on names and titles, but if it leads you somewhere that connects, let me know. So we have this sinking of Pan. All right, so we all understand that Pan was sunk by an energy, right? Christians, a brotherhood of warriors. They were named Christians in derision or mockery by the Hebrews. So these Hebrews named them Christians in mockery. Why were the Hebrews mocking the Christians by naming them Christians? All right, the following words are synonymous with what? Christians or Christians. Krishna, Christians. Oh, you think I'm playing? Brahma, Buddha, Christ, Baal, Asherah, Dagon, Vishnu. Is Vishnu Canaan? Is that what they say, right? Ashdod, knowledge, wisdom, in their tongue, in their forked tongue, it has the same vibration. Krishna, there we go. Krishna, light, pole, all this. All right, so, all right. I want to get this Iwata. Almost sounds like Hawaii, right? Iwata. A North American Indian, a kind of Abraham. So we have another Abraham, but he's indigenous here. So which will the real Abraham please stand up? With whom he was contemporaries, meaning lived at the same exact time. Okay, so we have this S, unseen worlds. You're going to hear this a lot. The unseen worlds, unseen to mortals. This word is used in the feminine, synonymous with the spirit world. Okay, so remember this spirit world S situation in the feminine, but we're dodging all hijacks. Now you're going to hear this faithist. Who are these faithists that this hijacked manual is calling faithists? One who has faith in who they call Jehovah, which they were referring to the creator, or hey, being all over. So one who has faith in who they call Jehovah, being over all and within all to a wise and definite purpose. So that's the creator. One who has not faith in anything but the creator. One who endures or endeavors to make himself in unison with Jehovah or creator by doing good unto others. So you want to be in unison by doing good unto others and then striving to put away self-gratification. A non-resistant, meaning that you are not resisting the wave. You are not resisting the wave of consciousness that you are in, the energy. You are flowing. If you're not resistant, you're flowing with it. The opposite from Uzian, whatever that is. All right. Now here's the hijack 101. They give you a firmament, they show you a dome, and then they say the world of space between the stars and planets. So they just say, oh, that's just empty space. But we know firmament is a barrier. They don't want to say barrier because then that exposes them, that there's a barrier that they cannot pass, that Thoth cannot pass according to his emerald tablets, where he has to move in circular patterns in which angles are difficult to catch up with and keep up with. All kinds of circular patterns that have angles that are very, lesser known. You know what I mean? So in order to keep up with them, these angels have to move in angles. But as they have to keep up with these circular patterns that Thoth and who he calls the dweller make to get back to their bodies. Because if they get caught by the hounds of the barrier that the Most High has put to protect you and your vibration, to protect the throne that you naturally resonate in, if they get caught, according to Thoth and the Emerald Tablets, they are held till judgment. They can't move. They can't go nowhere. They on lockdown. So they run their ass off from the barrier above the firmament. But they're going to make it look like it don't exist. It's just the world of space. Come on. All right, so this is what we really want. We want Guatama. The cosmological name of America. Okay, so when you see Guatama right here, North Guatama and South Guatama, they're only referring to the cosmological, so the celestial name of America. So from their perspective, in the celestial heavens or stars that are above, that monitor this area, they're saying, that's what they're calling Guatama, literally the last spirit foundation. Wow. So the hijack is calling you here in Guatama, in America, the last spirit foundation. Does that mean that the last, the last stronghold will be here? The last revelation? Everyone keeps saying, is this the Babylon? Is this where it's gonna go down at? And according to this hijack, yeah, this is the last spirit foundation. So who was here? Jerusalem. You got Ham. You got the cosmological name of Egypt. That's Ham. Egypt, Ham. The followers of Abram bestowed the country's name on him. So this, hey, they're saying here that Abraham is what bestowed the country's name on him after they settled there. One who was black with sunburn. But yet you see Gods of Egypt starring who? All kinds of what? They don't look black with sunburn. But alright, so I'm saying it was named by Abraham, as we, have, an understanding, overstanding of what this Egypt, meaning bondage. Aiptos is Greek, bondage. So who was calling it bondage? Abram. So Guatama, America, you got the Great Spirit, universe is earth, corpora, sky, and spirit, the three in one, or Jehovah, or the Creator, head. They're saying everything, the universe, sky, spirit, everything in one, or the Creator. As the spirit of a man is to the man, so is the Great Spirit to Jehovah. Though Great Spirit is also used as a synonymous with Jehovah, or the Creator. So they say they use it synonymously, but specifically the Great Spirit is to the Creator as a spirit is to a man. All right, so that's very interesting. All right, so okay. And we're gonna get it back into this Iesu, Iesu. Of course, the J is a hijack. All right, so Jesus is a hijack. It's Iesus. But the origin of this Iesu, according to this glossary of strange words, is a sexless person. Sexless. All right, so you hear them, we want to reach this point of enlightenment, where, I don't crave anything, carnal or anything, whatever the case is. I think that's the basics of it. But they're going to go into more of the, as in like, men who attain Iesu are said to have attained the state of a woman, i.e. to change sex. So somehow I think there's dropping it, but then in the mind of a hijack, they got to go way left field, in my understanding. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I follow it, So sex changes and all that kind of shit. So you have this sex change energy, this Iesu, improperly called Iesus. Some men as Brahma attain Iesu. So you got these Brahma, these Vishnus, and all these so-called gods, you know what I'm saying? And they're always with these attributes of men and women. All right, so they're Iesu, according to this. Both sexes. The Hebraic word Iesu was made from Iesu. Right? Iyu was made from Iesu, one who can hear the voice of the Great Spirit. So that might be more of the breakdown of folks that originally, or the origin of it, being able to hear the voice once you get to this, point of purity where you can hear the voice. Iyu has been improperly confounded with Jehovah. So this Iyu, or this Iesus, or this Jesus is improperly confounded with the Creator, who they're calling Jehovah. Improperly. Even the hijack is saying, all these Christians walking around saying, but Jesus is God. Trust me, man, I got an argument with my own families, man. It's like, man, Jesus is God. It just, the flesh and this and this and this, and they don't understand that they just are just spitting out straight up jargon that's coming from the Zoroastrua, Iesu, Osiris. All this shit is all connected. The same sun god, the same situation. And it's amazing how you wake up today thinking that you're doing something brand new without any research whatsoever. Because it feels good. Because, you think it's what saved you. The Creator saved you. The Creator is your Savior. And if He's patient with you while we go through these changes that we go through, you know what I mean? Now look how this hijack is calling the copper colored races. Now you know America, an Ame'rican, the copper colored race, all this kind of stuff. Oh, they're calling it half breeds with drooks. And drooks, which you read, are who they're calling dark skinned and brown people. Oh, you guys are drooks. You know what I'm saying? Yet Egypt was black faced or burnt face. So are they drooks too? Alright, so you see how silly it gets. And then you got this Mazda situation, god of Zoroaster. So that's what I'm talking about. The Zoroaster has all this Christian drop all in it. So we're going to get back into that. Zoroaster, all that. Isaiah, a Chinese prophet. It sounds crazy to you understand the China, Chinese, Chini, however they call it. But all these, you know what I'm saying, these Asiatic situations, man, that is really just different versions of you. And they've been broken up and split up and then sort of put into one thing. And it is one thing, but, you know, you're not giving the full drop of the board. You're not really understanding how you rocked in China. You're not really understanding how you were rocking in different areas and different places and different energies, you know what I'm saying, from the Creator were raised up for those people there in those areas, whether it's India, whether it's China, whether it's Guatama, America. The Most High was putting his, you know, energy protecting, redeeming, spreading, remembering. So this Isaiah, they're saying Isaiah, a Chinese prophet. The word Isaiah is of modern Hebrew. Most likely the ancient Phoenicians disguised the Chinese name purposely. They disguised the Chinese name purposely. Isaiah is faith is in something above the earth. Faith in something above the earth. Israel, faith in Jehovah. A password in the fourth degree of Elijah prophets. Man, all right, so Ra, however, in Hebrew is evil. All right, so you got to comb through all this stuff. I mainly want to get that Guatama, so you understand when you keep hearing Guatama, they're talking about the celestial or the sky area over America, or the celestial name for it, but we're just talking about you. And when we're talking about Pan, we're also talking about you. And like I said, what's the chance that, you know, this lineage that we're talking about here, that we're calling Hebrew, that we're calling different things, whether it's there or China or where we're talking about, has lineages on in these other areas. These are the remnant of those areas that were sunk. And these people, these are the remnants of the survivors of Pan. These are the remnants of survivors of Atlantis. Now you have the survivors and the remnant of these energies still hijacking. And then you have some other energies, you know what I'm saying, that are, you know, raising up the people. Restoring law, restoring order from these other areas that are no more because of so much hijack going on. You know what I mean? So let's go right into it. Now I'm ready. Now we ready. OSB. So we're in the book of Safa. We're going right into Algonquin, Igor-Queen, Algonquin. Same thing. All right, let's get it. A little bigger. Perfect. Bible of the Mound Builders. Love to the family, you know, across the plain, waking up, you know, just, you know, kind of getting to that point where you have reality and you have an illusion. And you might feel like you're in limbo, like more of you is kind of being pulled towards reality, and then that illusion you used to live in, you know, it's just getting smaller and smaller. But in the meantime, you do got to go through, you know, a birth. You're being reborn in a sense, you know, so it's a birth pain. You might be going through a lot, but it's just a birth pain. Get through it. Get to the other side. It's up to you. It's all up to you, people. And this is up to us, man. Let's go. So we're going to just belly flop in it and just flow with it. Just flow with it. So this is Algonquin. said, "These are my divisions for the 12 feasts of the gods of heaven. Observe ye them in my name, for they are my inheritance bestowed to enrich the wisdom of men. All labor is mine, saith Agoquim. By my hands moveth all that is." All right. And then you get this table right here. And it says, Plate 83, Bible of the Mound Builders. It even tells you how to read it. It says, read from left to right, beginning at the top. So this one, you read from left to right, beginning at the top. You see this 6-pointed star here. Again, 6-pointed star here. Interesting, right? You also see pyramids and different things. And of course, I wish I could read it. You see what looks like a pyramid here. Some other type of situation, Man, I wish I could, decipher. It looks like a boat right here, though. That's what I do know. All right, if you got the drop on this, let me know. This is called Bible of the Mound Builders. I'm sure it is enormous drop. Let's keep reading. The earth is my footstool, and I have made it square to the north and south, east and west. Okay, so does that sound like you're living on a ball? You're going to hear firmament a lot, and they're going to keep trying to hide, firmament's just space. They even have a cosmology section in here just talking about still how you're spinning on a ball, But then they give you the drop in subtle ways. So here you go, man. All right, so I've seen this model before, actually, some type of like rectangle square situation with the tent canopy over it, the firmament. But let's go. The earth is my footstool, and I have made it square to the north and south, east and west. 3 things made I, air, earth, and water. Interesting. Because I don't see fire. But let's go. The angle with 3 sides made I in remembrance thereof. 3 things bestowed something I on man. The earth body, which is dark, and none can see through it. The spirit which liveth after the earth body is dead. The 3rd part I give to man is the soul which joineth him to me. The sun I made, and I set him high in the firmament. In the firmament. If you understood firmament correctly. Just for the love of it. All right, let's go. Firmament, mid-13th century, that's the 1200s. Firmament, literally a support, a strengthening. Remember the Most High said, I beat it out with my right hand. I beat out Rakwa. I beat it out. I spread it out like a tent for you to live in. Shamayim. I spread out the heavens. Shamayim. Beat it out. Rakwa. That refers to something solid, a solid structure, right? The Most High saying, I physically beat it out with my right hand. And these people, these hijacks are saying, it's just the space in between planets. And we already got the etymology of planet. We'll get it again. So firmament, literally a support, strengthening, firmest, strong, steadfast, enduring, firm. Firm or solid structure. Solid structure. Solid structure is the firmament. A layer, a barrier, a solid structure that these lower angels cannot cross. They run from the hounds of the barrier. Solid structure, which translated Hebrew rakia. Rakwa, rakia. A word used of both the vault of the sky. All right, look at the cursor. Vault of the sky. Firmament is a vault, a physical solid structure in the sky. Where? a word used of both the vault of the sky and the floor of the earth in the Old Testament. Probably literally expands from raka, to spread out. Does that sound like you living on a ball, people? You have a solid structure? Rakwa, rakia, vault? How do you have a vault on a ball? That's just your firmament. That only makes sense with a stationary, firm, fixed, and immovable earth. With a vault or dome or solid structure or barrier, expanse, spread out, but in Syriac meaning to make firm or solid. Solid. Now this hijack tries to tell you that it's just the space in between the planets. And we got planet in the etymology. We understand planet, right? Planet. Let's get it quick. Flat to spread. So even in planet, they say, oh, it's just planete, Greek planetes, yeah. To wonder, wandering stars, uncertain etymology, but possibly flat. Now, when have you ever heard it say uncertain? But they're just going to try to throw you that to knock off your certainty so that when you read flat and spread, just like you just read rakwa, spread out, flat, spread out, then it gives you the real drop on what they're trying to do with these so-called planets to make devious, repel, dissuade from the right path, bewilder. So these fallen angels are devious, repel, dissuading you from the right path. They're repelling you from the right path. Remember, the faithist says that they're non-resistant. Well, they're making you resistant to the right path. They are bewildering you. So-called because they have apparent motion. They didn't say these planets have motion. It's apparently in motion. Apparent, illusionary. Just like World Beyond the Poles. Shout out to Gianni. Unlike the fixed stars, originally included all the sun. All right. Wandering stars. We got the wandering star, devious, repel, dissuading you from the right path. Wandering. Flat. Firmament. Solid structure. Rakwa, rakia. Vault of the sky. Spread out. Firm. Solid. Get it? Got it. So it's not just a, what they say again, how they say it, how does hijack say it? Firmament. Even though they show you a vault here, a barrier here, a dome here, the world of space between stars and planets. Wow. Wow. So when you go to this whole cosmology section, just know you are in hijack 101. So we truly do understand this is the mind of a hijack, but we will get the babies out because they're in here. So let's go. Bible of the Mound Builders. I mean, this is clearly a baby, if you can understand it. So the earth is my footstool. I have made it square to the north and south, east and west. 3 things made I, air, earth, and water. The angle of the 3 sides made I in remembrance thereof. 3 things bestowed I on man. All right, so let's go down to verse 5. The sun I made, I set him high in the firmament. In the firmament. Okay, so that's in the vault. In the solid structure. All right. In the solid. In the, what they say, expanse. Spread out in the expanse. In the vault of the sky. All right. So then I made, the sun I made, I set him high in the firmament. In the vault. Within it. That's why the sun can't be some huge gaseous situation if it's within the firmament. It's within the firmament. It's within, underneath the barrier. So it's small. It's under the barrier that I might see from afar and behold my earth-born children. And the lakes and forests and rivers and the caves and the earth made I for man. All that I have made is good and round or square, according to the place I made for it. But in the very young days of the world, the impatience of men led them to perceive not me or my good works, and they set about to do my labor. Thus came evil into the world, but I separated the evil from the good into the four corners of the world. Separated I them. I gave to the evil where all is coldness and hunger. So think about the cold areas. Think about where the hijack came from. In the coldness and the hunger. They were hungry. They were eating corpses. They were digging up so-called Indian corpses and eating them because they couldn't plant food, nor did they plant. Where they have invented the evil killing bow and the flint dart, destroying my living creatures. Let's keep going. It's getting good. My righteous shall live in mounds of earth and stone and wood. Here is a possible baby. I mean, they're all over the place, but, I'm going to point out the ones I see. So my righteous shall live in mounds. So when we have the mound builders, and you're talking about the Bible of the mound builders, here's one of their, I guess, mound building laws. Mound builder laws that the righteous of the mound builders shall live in mounds of earth, stone, and wood. Now, why, in this case, would they be required to live in mounds of earth, stone, and wood, where the Yuga, what is the Yuga? Serpent and tiger and all other evil devouring beasts. Okay, so all jam ups, all jam up Joneses, anything that could jam you up cannot come upon them. So something about this earth, stone, and wood keeps all devouring evil beasts away? Is that why they lived in mounds? But in the light of my angels to come and abide with my people, ye shall provide the Hugadoa, the well-covered house, and it shall have but one door, and pieces shall be put therein, so that when my chosen are within, all shall be dark, that my angels may teach them. But the dwelling of Hunshawasi, the prophet, shall have one ungi window, and he shall have a mukagawin, the true sign of poverty, and it shall be his jewel made of copper and gold. For whom I have made to live in poverty in this world will I exalt in heaven. Only the poor have I made to be my prophets. I mean, we know that overall, we know the haves and the have-nots. So I guess in this case, that's what they're saying. However, only because we're on part 15 of the Prester John, and we know we're talking about rich indigenous people. There's a theory that these hijacks want you to believe that you got to be poor so that they can take all the riches, right? So let's just keep going. Over the mounds, my angels shall keep watch against the evil approaching Yuga, and they shall awaken my sleeping children, and they shall not suffer. Agaquim said, boats have I provided for the spirits of good men to rise to heaven in. So these boats rise to heaven. So I'm going to venture to say that these boats are flying machines. And my angels shall accompany them to a place of light and rest. Agaquim said to the priests, have I given authority to make my signs and symbols and to bestow them on my righteous children. Then it has a little cross here. Okay. All right. So I want to check out the small print. I like small print because this is when they try to slide. What I'm saying? It's like watching one of them, little late night, medical commercials. Trying to sell you drugs, prescription drugs, and they always, have the fine print. Side effects include, you know what I'm saying? So when I get to that, you know, I'm like, all right, man, slow down. Let's get this nice and big. Many of the tribes of the North and Central American Indians, we're talking about the mound builders, right, still build their spiritual wigwams in this manner. The jewels were made illustrative of the gods. From one god to another were 4 moons. The sacred words belonging to each other and every god for the month were repeated during that month. While the words were being repeated in concert, the sacred people trotted or danced around the top of the mound, clapping their hands at every step. These ceremonies were often nightly and never less than once for each quarter of the moon. One the following month, the next verse to other gods of another month was repeated in like manner. After the extermination of the sacred people, the mound builders, all right? So after the extermination of the sacred people, the mound builders, the worshippers of Algonquin, i.e. Elohim, so we're talking about Elohim, Algonquin. Are we still talking framer and shaper? Okay. The succeeding people, the Indians, so after the mound builders are saying the succeeding people, the Indians, kept up the dance, and even to this day, some of the tribes have preserved the whole 12 dances and the general spirit of the invocations, however, they are slayers of the Uha and of one another also. These rites and ceremonies, according to the tables related to the solar phalanx, must have been about 15,000 years before Cosmology. This era they're talking about, we're going to get into that. This is, from what I'm gathering, a relatively recent era that they're calling Cosmology, that pretty much accompanied the whole Columbus situation, man. So we're going to get into Columbo. Let's go. And located in Eastern Asia and Africa. There are philosophers of today who hold that in national affairs, might is right. Might is right. All right. The mightier, national affairs, whoever's mightiest is right. Witness the U.S. government against Indians and the British in the East Indies. Indians. Oh, that reminds me. Let's get back on that glossary, man. Just remember, man, when we talk about India, when we're talking about Shem, one of the ancient names of India. Now, one of the ancient names of India, sea submersion of Pan. So, when we get into this India and Indies, and we remember in our lost tribes and promised land, oh man, they all snap me. Oh snap. Man, we work for this. We get through the all snaps, man, just to get the job. Just to get back. Let's get it. I know exactly where to go. I've been here so many times. We know exactly where to go. Yay. All right. Indias, the 3 Indias. Pastor John, man, look out for part 16. Told y'all it's going to be a 22-part series. All right. So where then is this remarkable country? Our magnificence, writes Pastor John, dominates the 3 Indias and extends to the farther India. So when we read India, Shem, one of the ancient names of India, we say, well, which one? That's when we become conscious and we're flowing with the wave. We're not just looking at the map and saying, all right, here's Arabenia, here's Venue, so I guess that would be India. But we're talking about 3 Indias, and we're talking about the farthest India. Prester John, Guatama. Well, why would we say that? The 3 Indias extends to the farther India. What do we mean? Get it like it's the first time is what we mean. Remember, when we're talking about India, 3 Indias. Now look, among medieval geographers, but for most Europeans, even learned ones, the term covered a vast and distant region of dark-skinned people. So it's a general term referring to a vast, distant region or regions of dark-skinned copper-colored races. Now, here it says again, 3 Indias. The latter concept became the standard in the Middle Ages. One of the 3 Indias, so there's 3. One of them faced what they're calling so-called Ethiopia. See, it's in quotations because it's, Ethiopia is a very general term, right? It's all relative and it's all general. Let's go back right quick. This confused geography has ancient honorable roots. The first verse of the Book of Esther describes the realm of the Persian king Xerxes, I think is what we're talking about. Xerxes, whose palace was at Susa, as extending from India even unto Ethiopia. In Greek and modern authors, there is a similar vagueness. So when we talk Ethiopia, don't act like, oh, I got it, man, body bag. I know exactly where India is. I know exactly where Ethiopia is. We done got it before. How there's an Oriental Ethiopia, and then there's a Western Ethiopia. I mean, do we have to do that again too? Just to make y'all happy. To know that we are not playing around. Where we at? Yeah. Can I get that bigger? Where's my 3 Indias? Some good drop there. Let's go back. I'm just flowing with y'all. Some of this stuff I thought to bring out. Some of it just comes up as we go like normal, man. Ethiopia. Yeah, I'm gonna get so I'm gonna just tear through this thing, man, because this is really good. This ties in all the Brahma, Abraham situation completely. Josephus, oh man. All right, where we at? Well, we just got some of that Eusebius. All right, so we see how all this ties together. Now let's get this Ethiopia. The Yadavas were the most venerable immigrants from India. They were the blameless and pious Ethiopians, the righteous Abyssinians and Ethiopians. Pious means what? What, righteous and pure, and calls the remotest of mankind. So we're talking about finding you in a remote area. Part of them say the old Hindu writers remain in this country, and hence we read of two, not one but two, Ethiopian nations, the Western and the Oriental. Some of them live far to the east, and they are the Yadavas who stayed in India, while others reside far to the west. Just like there's two Zions, it says, and two Merus, Mount Merus. Uh-oh. Yeah. So when you see this Vindu of India, it's not the only one. You say, which one? Then we come back here and say, well, there's 3 Indias and 2 Ethiopias. Well, remember, India and Ethiopia have similar vagueness based on how these Greeks and Romans use India and Ethiopia, the latter even in its narrowest sense comprising a much larger area than the present-day Ethiopia and beginning just south of the first cataract of the Nile, and about its relationship with the better-known Persia and its apocryphal Acts of St. Thomas. The apostle moves easily between Persia and India, starting roughly with the 5th century apocryphal writer, the Pseudo-Abdias, who describes the exploits of the Apostle Thomas, Bartholomew, Matthew, and each of the 3 Indias. And the latter concept became, now listen up, the latter concept became a standard one of the Middle Ages. One of the 3 Indias faced Ethiopia. So 1 India out of the 3 faced Ethiopia, according to Pseudo-Abdias. The second faced Persia, and the third occupied the ends of the earth. The third India occupied the ends of the earth. Remote, right? Remote area between the ocean and the realm of darkness. Now this third India, became especially fruitful for the geographical imagination, the region of untold islands. Untold islands. So once they got this far, let me get this map, man. All right, untold islands. So they're over here trapped. Remember, they were trapped. All they can swim and get across is here to here, here to here. They couldn't cross through all this while these tribes, they was getting their ass whooped all over the place. They were trapped inside the Pillars of Hercules. They got through during the Atlantean situation. Atlantis fell right here. Even though all this was Atlantis, this is the part where most of the warriors sunk because they tried to cross. Then this became unnavigable. They couldn't navigate past it until who? Columbo. Then they got past the partition, and let's see what they found. Let's get back to it. You know what I mean? So when you hear Shem, one of the 3 names of one of the names of India, well, you say which one? And then it says sea submersion of Pan. So what is Pan? All right. Where's Pan? What does Pan, or also known as Lemuria, what does this have to do with Shem? Because when you saw Shem, it says one of the, ancient names of India. And then it says sea submersion of Pan, and this is Pan. So is it kind of saying in a non-direct way that we have roots here? And was that the beef between this and the Atlanteans? Is that there were roots here versus the Atlantis hijack? Was this the drop? Will we have it back? Will it come back? Sea submersion of Pan, one of the names of India. And we just read about the 3 Indias, one of which faces Ethiopia, the other faces Persia, the third occupies the ends of the earth. The ends of the earth, okay? The ends of the earth. Way over here. So we're talking about this all being referred to as India, which was just a vague term from the Greek and Roman authors. Similar vagueness, vast area, India, Ethiopia. So don't get stuck on what they taught you Ethiopia is and India is when you read there's 3 and one of them occupies the ends of the earth. Prester John of the 3 Indies means that he's occupying the ends of the earth. So, you know, when you're talking about these mound builders, we're talking about the Bible of the mound builders. Let's keep going. We got some more goodies for you. Let's skip down. For the sake of time. This thing called time. So you heard about that faithists, right? The faithists is just those who believe in the Creator above the firmament. All right, those who have faith in what they're calling the unseen, since these other angels were so seen. Right? These other angels, they were all in your face. They were tempting you left and right. They were so seen. I mean, shit, you see these guys all the time, right? They got their statues, they got their monuments. Excuse my battery. There we go, there we go. We live. Alright, so let's go quickly. Brotherhood of the Faith is with modern gods substituted in place of the ancients. Alright. With modern gods substituted in place of the ancients. Alright, let's go. These that follow being the first three rites of Emethakava. Alright, let's get it. This is to say, Megatile said, a baker came to see me, to sell me bread. I said, sell thy bread to my wife. She and I are one. The baker said, the two are one. This was the beginning of wisdom. I went into a field and heard the birds singing. The unknown said, the twain are one. I said, couldst thou, O Father, make all men as one? There would be peace and joy, no war. The unknown said, make thou the family of the ancients. Husband and wife shall be the key. Husband, wife, and children shall be thy motto. And I said, I cannot make all men think alike, act alike, do alike. All right, man, all right. Just for the sake of time, I want to get to this one story. I'm actually going to, I don't want to get too deep. I'm going to go back to that. Let's go a couple pages in. Let's get to the good stuff. No time for the play. We got into some of this judgment before. If you haven't seen the judgment of the Brahmins and all that, we just got a piece of it, but go check that out as well. Okay. So let's start here. The Book of S, daughter of Jehovah. God in paradise. All right, so S said, S is the daughter of who they're calling Jehovah, or the creators of the creator. And look, just flow with it. All right, so let's see where the babies are. All right. So this is the creator's daughter, according to this particular hijacked manuscript. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny. But we are talking Columbus, and that is enough. And we are talking Guatama, and that is enough to get some babies out. I mean, Columbus? Now, this is supposed to be the Bible of Jehovah, right? And we're talking Columbus? So this is letting you know a little bit more about the energies that's going around this. Now, they're going to try to big up this guy. But we're going to see we know what time it is. We know what time it is. So, all right, just like the firmament, we can do our own recon. So this S, this daughter of Jehovah, right? So after the light of Jehovah came to God, saying, go, provide mortals to cross the ocean. So now, here we go. This is the energy of this Columbus that's saying, yeah, go cross the ocean now. See how smooth they play this. They're going to slow play you. Go provide mortals to cross the ocean to build up the western continent. To build up the western continent. You already know this is hijacked because you know the western continent was already had palaces and kingdoms and pressed to John. But let's go. God ceased striving to redeem the 4 heavenly kingdoms of the 4 false gods, but directed his energy. So who they're calling God is not the creator. You have to go back and get that from previous drops. This God, they're calling in this manuscript the son of the creator, and this S is the daughter of the creator. All right. So this capital G-O-D is the son of Jehovah. All right, so let's just go. Don't get too confused, but let's see what they're saying about Columbus. All right. Go provide mortals across the ocean to build up the western continent. God ceased striving to redeem the 4 heavenly kingdoms of the 4 false gods, which is all that Osiris situation, right? But directed his energy to regain a broader earth anchorage for sake of Jehovah's kingdom. Okay. So this he's according to this, he's doing it all for the creator. He's going to send Columbus just for the creator. All right, so let's go. So God sent down from paradise one Melchizedek. Sounds kind of like Melchizedek, but I don't know. Melchizedek, crowned as Lord, with 10,000 angels in his command to inspire migration to Guatama and to make the country known to the eastern peoples. All right, so this was the energetic hijack that's happening at the time, according to this document. And Melchizedek, with his hosts, came and ascertained the grade and choice of mortals for such purpose. And Melchizedek and his hosts did raise up Columbus. So thank Melchizedek for this shit. A mortal of Genoa, together with his crew, sufficient in number, whom they inspired to go with ships to the westward across the ocean in search of the lay and plan of the world. And it came to pass that Columbo, thus inspired of God, through his holy angels, did discover the western continent. Oh, he discovered it. Let's go. Not knowing he was under inspiration. It seemed like he did know he was under inspiration based on his journals where he was calling himself a prophet and big up in the Book of Esdras, and but let's go. I could do this all day. It was shortly after this that the angel host from Etheria came down to the throne of God in paradise to labor with him in providing for the approach of the Cosmin era. So this Cosmin era, what they're calling Cosmin era, must have happened after the Columbus era, right? So we have Columbus being inspired by God, right? Who's really the son of Jehovah in this manuscript. It was shortly after this that the angel host from Etheria came down to the throne of God in paradise to labor with him in providing for the approach of the Cosmin era. So this was approaching, this Cosmin era is approaching after Columbus. So this is modern shit. This Cosmin era is modern. Now, whilst God and his angels in the heavenly kingdom of paradise were rejoicing because of the success of Columbo in finding you and me, wow, they were rejoicing according to this manuscript, which had reported by Melchizedek to God, behold, in that same time it was that the Etherian ship of Litabakatrava arrived, and God received the Etherians with great rejoicing, and after due ceremonies, God declared a recreation of 3 days, that the angels of paradise might rejoice before Jehovah, because the Ig of so many hundreds of years was breaking away. And because Columbo, he was successful, so they had a 3-day rejoicing section. And because the coming of the Ethereans, great indeed were the rejoicing, the praise, the music, and glee of the 1,000,000,000 angels in paradise for Columbus. And if this is utter bullshit, it's still entertaining like a mug that somebody would write this shit. But we're going to get some great babies. At the end of the 3 days, the trumpet called the Holy Council of God to resume labor before the throne. Then the marshals from various places in God's kingdom called their students and laborers and withdrew to several departments. The Holy Council resumed their places before God, and God ascended to the throne, and order was. Then God called the Ethereans, chronicling Thechaya, Chasin, Barnothetes, Atavia, Thatogawawa, to come and honor the throne. Whereupon these visiting gods did as commanded. Then spake God, saying, What tribute, O Jehovah, can I pay to thy son Litubar Baka Thrava? For the light and glory of his presence provide thou unto me in my holy council. Thereupon all holy council 1,000,000 rose to their feet, and then all the gods rose up also. God said, Come thou, honor my throne. Then Litabakatrava walked up and sat on the throne of God. When he was seated, God commanded all the rest to be seated, and thereupon Litabakatrava rose up and said, Thou hast given me great honor, O God of earth and her heavens. May the light of the person of Jehovah dawn upon all the kingdoms of the earth, heaven and earth. Yet, O God, be not puffed up with the hope of sudden success. I have seen many corporal worlds arrive at the cosmic era, but it is like a new birth brought forth in pain and with much labor. All right, so this God is saying, look, man, don't think this is going to be a rushed situation. I done seen this before, and it's going to be a lot of pain and labor. Thou hast yet several generations of mortals to be born ere cosmic come, before cosmic comes. So, cosmic. Are we talking some new age, age of Aquarius type of situation? But we're talking Columbus, and then several generations later, this cosmic era will come. The 4 dark corners of the lodge will be bound upon thee to destroy the work of thy hand and of Jehovah's. The 4 false gods will fight thee to the death. Only till they go down in hell can Jehovah's kingdom come. On all the planetary worlds, we got planet, and we know that's flat and spread out. So now that sounds like worlds beyond the poles, celestial worlds. It is ever the same. Certain 4 false gods rise up and possess the corporal worlds in their heavens. They will profess truth, but practice falsehood. Profess peace, but practice war. Don't that sound like somebody? Profess peace, but practice war. Profess truth, but practice falsehood. Telling you lies. They will incite mortals and angels to all manner of evil for sake of thwarting Jehovah's personal proceedings. Yea, they will even yet assume that they themselves are the creator, Jehovah. They're calling the veritable creator. And they will inspire mortals to consider them as such. And when thy people profess Jehovah is not them, behold, they will inspire others to fall upon thy people to destroy them or to torture them with great suffering. Nevertheless, it shall come to pass with thee, Jehovah shall triumph over all the earth and in the heavens of the earth. Men and angels shall be free, and none shall make them afraid. Letebakatrava ceased and sat down, and suddenly a great shining light gathered above his head. The voice spake out of the light, saying, all the earth is mine, and the waters and the earth above the earth, and the air above the earth. These are members of my body and person. Man I created not to possess them, but to dwell thereon and therein. And to all men alike gave I of all of these inheritance, nor to any man a part, nor to any nation a people, or people a part. But with liberty and privilege unto these gave I man the right to draw sustenance and support. All men are my children, and to the conscious being created I them alike, privilege unto all the earth, and the waters of the earth, and the air in the firmament above the earth. Brothers and sisters created I them in various tribes and races and colors and sizes, but nonetheless in mine own way I created them, every one for glory in the way I made him. In the early days, behold, I kept man on certain continents and places. So in the early days, I kept man on certain continents and places, that I might unfold him in the glory for which I designated him. I designed him. But in Cosman, I opened the gates of the oceans. So this Cosman era that they're celebrating is just them finding you. Ooh, they're saying, God opened the gates of the oceans. He let us go. I told you these motherfuckers was trapped. They couldn't get out to the true ocean that surrounds them. So they have to revere Columbus. You see this hijack. You see how this is some Columbus modern hijack. And what are they saying? That in this Cosmic era, I open the gates of the oceans and the seas and the rivers, and say to all my people, come forth, behold your brethren. Go ye into this country and into that, and learn wisdom from that which I have proved in my family of my house. Be ye profitable unto one another, and experience and practice of my hand upon all people. In one tallness, in another shortness, in another sound teeth and bones and well-formed limbs, in another sagacity, in another dense population and well-tilled lands. All right, let's go down a little bit. All right. So behold, I alone shall judge. My mark is upon all those that engage in war, or keep warriors, or who keep forts or arsenals and use weapons of death, and upon all who kill and eat the flesh of anything. So we're taught, hey, you can eat this, you can eat that, this flesh is good, this flesh ain't good. And here it says, hey, you ain't supposed to eat the flesh of anything. And I created alive, for all such are pagan and heathen in my sight. Maybe that's what they were arguing about in the hijack, about eating meat. Christians say, they're just talking about swine. Some didn't eat the flesh, the vibration. Neither shall they go from nation to nation to find evil, but to goodness and wisdom and virtue. All right, so we're getting some good stuff. Now. See me going quickly. You see me going quickly. Now, let's get into this. All right, so this is the energy that's behind this Columbus. This is the energy that's big up in this Columbus. Now, therefore, after the fireboats had cruised about a while, displaying their splendor, 3 of them departed, leaving only the fireboat of Louis Mong's host remaining. Louis Mong, let's go to the glossary. Moses, a basket baby. Man, you gotta get the babies out the bathwater. You got to get the babies out the bathwater. Get that basket baby out the bathwater. Now, who's this Louis Mong? Do they have it up here? I've seen it. All right, Cosmic Area, Universal Knowledge. All right, okay. Louis Mong. All right, I've seen it. They kind of stuck it in one of these Christ situations, but I don't got time to find it now. Louis Ma, I know you here. I know you here, Louis Ma. Where they put you? Where they put you? All right, let's just get it. Let's just get it. So anyway, Louis Ma, they're going to tell you exactly who he is right here. The captain of this boat said, "It is not sufficient that I come hither and find the foreign god departed. I will ascertain what hath been said and done and what these Jehovah worshippers are up to." All right, so they're looking at you over here. Remember, Columbus knocked down the partition. They rooted for it. They took 3 days. They celebrated. Now, this Louis Mang is who they're calling a false Christ. He's the, major false Christ of the situation. When you get into it, let's go. So he went aside and made his boat fast, and he and his hosts, arrayed in splendor, went and talked with the inhabitants of paradise, inquiring among all things the cause of such great rejoicing among the people. And one of the people, being unguarded, said, "Behold, it is well with us that we rejoice. God, Jehovah's Son," I told you this God is called Jehovah's Son in this document, "hath inspired a new mortal anchorage." So they're talking about Columbus. "He hath taken Columbo across the ocean." That's why they're celebrating. "And showed him a new country." Is it new to you or to them? So who is hijacking who? Where only the Great Spirit Jehovah's worship. Now, that's the drop. So we can get through the Columbus shit. All right. We know that y'all spinning that. But they are telling you here that he have taken Columbo across the ocean and showed him a new country to him, where only the Great Spirit, hey, is worshipped. Interesting. Now, what else? What else, man? The captain of the fireboat thus discovered one of the plans of God for redeeming the world. So these are Louis Mon. This is, these are the false, what they call them, the false gods, false Christ. That's against this plan of the Creator. For doing what? Redeeming the world. Remember when you got back here and you went to Guatama? The cosmological name of America, literally the last spirit foundation, the last revelation, the last redemption, God's plan for redeeming the world. So, where only the Great Spirit is worshipped, here. In America, they're saying only the Great Spirit was worshipped here at this time. Okay. The captain of fireboat thus discovered one of the plans of God for redeeming the world, but the captain disclosed not his joy, though presently he and his host went aboard and departed, making all haste to Haraktu, the heaven of Louis Mang, the false Christ. So this Louis Mang false Christ has a heaven called Haraktu, and he's the false Christ. Christian. On that day after Louis Mang learned this matter, he sent a warship with 7 million warring angels to stir up a mutiny among mortals in the countries where Columbus sailed. So here's Columbus now being, mutinied against, right? He's the good guy, but he's getting mutinied on. Or is he a part of the mutiny? Is he the mutiny? And by inspiration, Louis Mang's warrior angels did set the rulers of Spain against Columbo. Oh, poor Columbo. And had cast him in prison. Oh, possible. Thus breaking the chain of inspiration betwixt Columbo and the throne of God. So he was inspired. He was inspired, right? But now that chain of inspiration is broken. by Louis Mound because he's thrown in jail. In the meantime, Louis Mound's angels made all haste to have mortal ships and shipmasters of their own kind cross the ocean to the countries Columbus had discovered. So, when Columbus went to jail, who came next? What? Cortez? Who else? Bernal Diaz and all these cats, right? So, this is what it's talking about. So, Louis Mound's angels made haste to have mortal ships and shipmasters of their own kind cross the ocean to the countries Columbo had discovered. Here comes Cortez. You think I'm play? Thus did Louis Mound's mortal worshippers cross over to Guatama, America, and with them Louis Mound landed and stationed in Guatama 1,000 million angel warriors, sworn laborers to the false Christ, to establish him in those great lands. And what they say here, convert or die, with a false Christ, a false Savior, in your great land, led by this angelic energy here. When God saw how evil had already taken root in these countries, behold, he was doubly resolved to obey Jehovah or his commandments in regarding to the Inquisition, Columbus's Spaniard Inquisition, in which Jehovah had said, suffer Louis Mound to carry out the Inquisition. So, according to this document of the hijacks, Louis Mound, the false Christ, was already given the pass by this Jehovah, who said, suffer Louis Mound, just lay back and let him carry out these inquisitions to put to death whoever he wanted to, whosoever he will. For it shall come to pass that the spirits of those he slain in Roma and Venice and Naples and all other cities and countries will remain in their places with vengeance in their souls. And the time shall come when thou shalt withdraw the protecting angel hosts from these cities, and behold, these angels of vengeance will come forth and visit their wrath upon the false god and his kingdoms. So these angels that are protecting Guatemala, are told to fall back at a time and just let it happen, right? And did it not happen in an epic way? Here, we're talking about Columbus and post-Columbus. Did it not happen in a horrific way? So God was strong in resolution to let evil take its course. And so in all countries where the false Christ had been afflicting mortals, God withdrew his protecting host, leaving those countries and those heavens to take their course. And it came to pass that the angels of vengeance came forth for battle, to battle other angels, and to obsess mortals unto battle also, and all against the false Christ. Thus was opened the door for the split in Louis Mound's doctrine, the false Christ, which was to ultimate in the entire overthrow of the Trinity. So this was to ultimate in the entire overthrow of the Trinity and of the Holy Ghost and of Louis Mound, also under his false name. So there was a split in what? Christianity of the false Christ. Thus did war begin again on earth and in Louis Mound's heavens about himself and his doctrine. To make matters worse for himself, he established angel emissaries in his earthly kingdom in Rome to inspire the popes, to cause mortals to be scourged, dumb Diversas, imprisoned, and put to death for heresy. And these things were done in the name of Christ and the Holy Ghost. It's right here in front of you people. And it came to pass that no man could express a word or thought reflecting upon Louis Mound's earthly doctrines or government without falling a victim to mortal and angel emissaries of this false Christ. Verily were many of these mortal cities obsessed by angels of darkness and evil, In course of time, behold, mortals inspired by vengeance-loving spirits rose up against Louis Mond's popes and cardinals and protested against the abnegation of man's right to think for himself, and these people called themselves Protestants. The Protestants, professing that there were two Christs, a true one and a false one, and moreover that they themselves were worshippers of the true Christ. Nevertheless, they were also under the inspiration of evil angels, for they fell to work burning and flaying their opponents also. So they went to work burning and flaying as well. The Protestants, whatever these Christians were, whatever version or sect of it was convert or die. And they were inspired by evil angels. And God foresaw that now was the time to inspire the western nations of Europa, named after a copper-color princess or copper-color queen, to great learning and to science and to philosophy and to western migration. So God sent angels to teach man once more the telescope and the art of printing, and to inspire man to question the spiritual powers of kings. Thus was Louis Mond's power in great measure locked up in managing his disrupted kingdoms, while God's holy angels pursued the road to righteousness development for the coming era of cosmology. Again, it's to come. As said, when God saw that Louis Mond's warrior angels had come upon the earth region discovered by Columbo, God withdrew, saying, Behold, I will use this as a testimony unto Jehovah and against this false Christ in time to come, for I will withdraw my angel hosts and give up for a season, the central lands of Guatama, the central lands of America. So this God, Son of Jehovah, the Creator, he's saying that, for I will withdraw my angel host and give up for a season the central lands of America, Guatama. And it shall come to pass, the mortals in these lands shall not prosper in peace nor righteousness. Who's the mortals in these lands? Who do they find here? You. And according to this document, it says, it shall come to pass that the mortals in these lands shall not prosper in peace nor righteousness, nor in learning, nor in science, nor inventions, nor anything good under the sun. For Louis Mond's warrior angels shall obsess them, and they shall build up, then destroy. And the people of Alietes, i.e. Mexico, and Yodopans, Pan. You see that? Pan. Guatama. All right, Pan, P-A-N. So keep that in mind. So these people of Yadopan, the Montezumas. So they're calling these people the Montezumas. It wasn't just one person, it was a nation of Montezumas, the Yodopans, and the Alietes, the Mexico. Let's back it up. For Louis Mond's warrior angels shall obsess them, and they shall build up and then destroy. So the false Christ is going to obsess these people. They're going to build up, then destroy. And the people of Mexico and the Montezumas shall be destroyed. And the Iesuans and their cities shall be in ruin. Now it did come to pass, as spoken by God, the central lands of Guatama from sea to sea fell under the dominion of the warrior angels of Louis Mond, the false Christ. And they became warriors and destroyers, nor rose they in peace, nor wisdom, nor in anything good under the sun, but they lived as pilferiers, debaucherers, warriors, murderers, idolaters of the false Christ. God had said, I will go to the northward, to the west coast of Europa, and my angels' host shall inspire another people to migrate to Guatama for conscience sake, Jehovah's sake, conscience sake. And look at the small print. All right? This undoubtedly applies to Mexico, Central America, and the northern part of South America, and to the west, Indies, 3 Indies islands as well. These people call themselves Christians, and it is true to the letter, they have not developed in one single virtue. Is it true? Have you not developed since Columbus came over here in one? Has your nation of people, whether we're talking about the people of the Eliates in Mexico and the Yodopans, the people of Pans, of the Montezumas, of Guatama, of the Americas, the Capicula, have you not prospered since this invasion? I mean, some people have, right? You got Michael Jordan, you got Kanye, but not real talk. I mean, have we prospered? So, I mean, hey. I will go to the north, to the western part of Europa, and my angel host shall inspire another people to migrate to Guatama for conscience sake. So this undoubtedly applies to Mexico, Central America, and northern parts of South America, and to the West India Islands as well. These people call themselves Christians. Don't we? And it is true to the letter, they have not developed one single virtue. Wow. Okay. And it shall be proved in this time that they whom I shall take across the ocean shall inherit Guatama, America, and they shall prosper in peace and virtue and wisdom and learning and inventions. And man in after time shall witness the difference between or betwixt the people of Louis Mong's possessions as compared with mine own in the northern regions. And so God sent his angels host upon the factions of Western Europe and inspired mortals to rise up and depart against that country for conscience sake. And they were inspired of God, crossed over the ocean and landed in Guatemala. And they named the place of the landing Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock. You didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock. Land on. All right. Same. For God's sake and for liberty, help us, O thou, O our Creator. Okay, let's just keep going. All right. And when they had come to the other side, they reported to Louis Mong's angel generals what had been done by mortals in Guatemala. And these angel generals sent a dispatch to Harak to Louis Mong's heavenly kingdom to learn his will and pleasure. Louis Mong sent word as followed to it. Send thou a sufficient inspiring host to obsess all mortals who have dispossessed Guatemala, lest the country fall into Jehovah's hands. So this was the vibrational war. It's the same energetic warrior in today. They don't want it to fall back into the Creator's hands, right? This is the last stronghold. What they call this? This is the last spiritual foundation. Guatemala, America, the last revelation, the last stronghold. All right, about to make our dismount. Just getting back in that OSB. Spare them not, this Louis Mong said. Don't even spare them. Keep killing them. Possess all or ruin all in the name of Christ and the Holy Ghost. Let's say it again. After this fallen angel Louis Mong, this false Christ, learned what was happening to you. He said, spare them not, possess all, or ruin all, in the name of Christ. If you are a Christian today, and you're from Guatemala, and they found you here, you copper-colored race, in the name of Christ and Holy Ghost, this is what is happening to you. And thus, this is your spell. And thus, it came to pass as regarded the false Christ and his affairs with God. Man. So it's all about Christ's sake. Christ. And he gets into this Cotton Mather situation. Now, he's inspired by these same hijacks. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get down this right quick. Got a couple more minutes left. Gotta go. Hope you enjoy, man. Just, a few babies at a time. That's all we're trying to give. We're not trying to do too much. A few of these babies at a time. So we're going to jump right over here, verse 22 or 21. To him only are you responsible, for his triumph shall be the redemption of heaven and earth. Behold, Louis Mound will surely inspire war both in Guatama with mortals and in the heavens thereof with angels. My angel host shall inspire the mortals of Guatama to found a government free from the dominion of gods and saviors. Wars will follow. Now behold, I have appointed Yatuhiza as my lord for these regions. Repair ye thither with my messengers who know the way, and Yatahiza will receive you in my name and give you work and justice, truth, and wisdom. The army of the Inquisition Spaniards then saluted and departed, and then came to Yatohiza's heavenly station with the colonists in Guatama. So this is all Louis Mound's people, and this army is saluting these angels and shit. So you thought this shit was just play. And it's saying the army of this Inquisition, the Spaniards, saluted and departed and came to Yatahiza's heavenly station with the colonists in Guatama, America. Man, I wish I had more time. Okay, that's good. Gotta make our dismount. Gotta go. All right, so we're going to get into some of this doctrine, a little more next time. But this is Louis Mound's false Christ doctrine. That man had the natural right above all kings, priests, sacred writings to serve his creator in this way. That this is the age of reason in which all men should be inspired to read, think, judge their own judgment, not through any priest or church or savior. That the doctrine of a savior is unjust. That no honest man should accept another's dying for him. That the so-called sacred books are not the writings of the Creator, that their multiplicity of defects prove them to have been manufactured by corruptible authors, that in practice the said sacred books have been used by unprincipled priests to promote wars, inquisitions, tyranny, and destruction, that man should rise up in his might to embrace his Creator by the practice of good works and by promoting brotherly love towards all men. And you know what I'm saying? All this general stuff, man, They're not going to give you the Creator's laws, They're going to say, just do good stuff. Just do good stuff. All right. So the Lord Yatahiza now assigned the army of the Inquisition, the 7,000 angels sent to God to be the protecting host to the 7 leaders of the Guatama revolt. And all this was happening, behind any of the jive that you're getting in your history, your history books. So here's our dismount here. Let's go. For 300 years prior to the above transactions, the 4 false gods had been in war to a limited extent in their heavens and for certain earth possessions also. In China and Kahuan's Confucians had made great progress to the injury of the false Brahma in Nakisa, but the latter had pushed his people into Vindu and Parsi. On the part of the Kabbalactes, the false Buddha, he had pushed his people into China and Parsi, and in many parts of Vindu, these Buddhists had retreated the Brahmins with great slaughter. But neither of the above false gods was a match for Thoth, alias God Gabriel, under the name and doctrines of Muhammad, he had made great inroads upon the possessions of the other 2 false gods, both as to the earth and heavens thereof. So all these gods were at war. And Thoth, he had to drop on everybody accordingly. Nobody was a match for Thoth, God Gabriel. Under the name and doctrines of Muhammad, he had made great inroads upon the possessions of the other 2 false gods, both as to the earth and heavens thereof. And yet, on the other hand, Louis Mong, the false Christ, had taken advantage of all the other 3 false gods. He had found mortal emissaries in Britain, Western Europa, whom he had inspired under the name East India Company. So all this is Louis Mong. To these he had said, "Come, I will lead you where there is great wealth and most luxurious enjoyment. Behold, ye shall possess the place and overcome the heathen of a rich country." Hey, you're the heathen of the rich country to them. So Louis Mong led them, and they took with them missionaries and Bibles and swords. Wow. So Louis Mong led them, the angel led them in the Inquisition, and they took with them what? Missionaries, Bibles, and swords.